Okay, so now that we've done the time, now we need to do the distance. And I must admit, I've also done a little bit of research how I want to do this, because I don't want to mess around. So we're going to save the overall distance that we're going to run with, right? And that's going to be a CL location distance. And every single time this updates, we want to update our distance label with the amount of distance that we've gone, right? But first of all, we need to do a little bit of reduction about how it looks, right? Because it's a CL location distance. So we want to first of all work out how many kilometers we've done, okay? And we can do this by, but first of all, we need to turn this into an integer, right? Because we only want to work with integers. And so we're just going to stick this in this here, and it's going to give us that as now as meters. Now, what we can do to make this a little bit quicker is open recent, we've got it in a, oh look, it's open already, in another playground where I did this already. And so we got our distance is going to be then, let's put this up here, CL location distance equals, let's say 65 and some big number, right? Get rid of this. Now we've got meters, and we want to be able to know what meters is first of all. So we want to know that meters is only this, and it should now be only that. Okay, good. Now we want to know kilometers. So if we say meters divided by 1000, we should have 6,530. Good stuff. Now we want to know how many meters we've got. So we're going to have to say meters modulus 1000, and this will tell me how many meters we've got here. So we've got 234, which is cool. So now we want to have distance string equals well, we can say if if we can say if meters is less than 1000, then we can just say meters here. We can put an M on it. Else, we can say km, kms, comma, meters, and then say km here, and then output that. So now we've got 6,530, and we've got 234 meters. Now it's my app, so I want to have exactly to the individual meter, not to the tens here. So this will be enough. So now we can put this into a get distance string from distance. And we can place that there. And we can do this here. Place this in there. Whoops. Return this. Oh dear. Clean this up. So get distance from string here, and what do we have? Okay, good. So now we can go even further and do this, and we can just say distance string now, remove that completely, do this, go south. Now we can change this to just say distance string. And it still works. And if we then I don't know, we should be able to say like 555 . Let's see what this says. What is it? Always in is on rate. Well, always fails. Okay. There we go. We get 555 meters. So now if we change it to 1,234, and so on, and it all works. So we're happy. So we can copy this now and put it into our resources folder and say CL location distance and distance string, place it in there and import core location. So good, we're all happy we've got this now. So now that we've got this working, we want to make sure that this distance is being updated on the main thread, and we can do this by just saying is it on the main thread, and if not, then we'll say this should only be updated on the main threads. Okay, so now distance, now we need the label as well. Now we've got this, we can say distance label text equals self distance string. Nice and simple. So now, in order to get the distance, we're going to have to update it. But we can do this quite simple with here. But we need like last location and so on. So let's just put it down here. So last location, and yeah, that'll be fine. So once this gets saved, we can say last location equals location, and then we can say here self.distance equals self.last location distance from current location. So we can, we say plus equals this distance, all right? And then we just need to say last location equals location to update the location for the next time that it gets called. And I believe this should work. Yes. I'll reset the app just so we've got it resetted. That's strange. It can be that this was asked too early. Yeah. Let's start it again. There's a bug in that there. Anyway, so we've got 700 meters or something that's already been going. This is just a bug with the simulator of not being resetted where it was. So we'll see where we are. It looks like it's going back on itself. Okay, and we're expecting the 830 something meters. Once it gets to 1 kilometer, says then 1 point something kilometers. Um, Nearly there. I've tested this already, but we'll just run it how it is to test that it's all working fine. Okay, and there it goes. Okay, as you can see that it's just gone 1 point something. Yeah, so it's not totally working properly because it's saying 1.5, but that's actually like however many meters that it is. So there's something buggy with this. So we need to be able to yeah. Just trying to think. This. Well, okay, we go back to our storyboard and we can continue debugging this. We want to know that if it's, yeah, okay. So if this one, for example, is less than 100, then it needs to be 0. Whoops. Then it needs to be 0 and then the number. Yes. Okay. So we want to do an extension on integer. All right. And we're going to say meters. And we're going to say, go then, if self is less than 100, then go like this, and then go, yep, else self. Oops. But first of all, we need to say if self is more than 10. Otherwise, we're going to say here and then, whoops, wrong way. It's probably an easier way of doing this. Okay, so if self is more than 10, we continue on, but if it's less than 100, then go here. And so on. So that should work for us. And what is A? Okay, yeah. And then 9 meters. Yeah. 1,000 meters. Okay. And yeah. So if it's less than 1,000, otherwise it's going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, and so on. Okay. Yeah. That's 0, 0, 0. So let's try and change this now to meters. And we try it again. So we want to have 1001 here. Oh dear. Okay, good. So now 1901. Yep. And it doesn't get any higher than that because we're only doing the meters here. Okay, good. So let's update this and put this in here. And this wants to be then meters. Okay, this should work. Should work better now. It's not always the main things that take up the most time. It's the little fine things, the small things, the building a project and so on that always take a lot of time. Okay, so now we're seeing we get 200 blah 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 meters. Gonna have to wait again. Wait for it to work. We can go to the freeway drive, it's easier. There we go. Okay, good. Now we can see that it's working because we're doing a freeway drive and it's updating properly. Good stuff. So now we just need to change the label to say distance. Yeah. And also to remove the default text, we don't want that. And don't want that there either. Yeah. Let's run it again to make sure it looks the way we want it to be. And come to a code and refactor. Okay. So it needs to have at least a 0 in it. This one. So it stays the right height. Yeah, cool. Right, I'm going to save this and we can move on. So added distance label and information. Right, see you in the next parts.